Hey, what's up? This your boy Norris. Welcome back to another sew along, and today we'll be working on my latest Knowme pattern design, which is ME2130. And today we'll be working on view A, which is the shirt. Now this is a casual spring summer design and a fairly easy project, but if you're new to sewing or just need a refresher, you can always check out sewingacademy.com, and if you want to, check out the free trial before making the commitment. All right, let's get started. Okay, so once again, like I said, we're working on my latest Knowme pattern design, which is ME2130, and we'll be working on view A, which is the top. Now, as you can see, it has a nice little drop shoulder with no sleeves, but it has a sleeve band to bring a little interest and also a little style to the actual design. All right, so once you look to the back, as you can see, you have all fabric suggestions here at the top. And then once you come down and look at all the different sizes from small all the way up to XXL, you want to see where you fall up under and then go down to finished garment measurements. Now, this is going to give you an idea of how it is going to fit once you sew it all up. Okay, so now that we have all the details out the way, let's go through all the pattern pieces we're going to need for this design. So you're going to need pattern piece number 1, which is the front. You want to cut 1 on the fold, and the fold is here. And then pattern piece number 2, the back, you want to cut 1 of these as well, and the fold is here. Pattern piece number 3, now this is the neckband. You want to cut 1 of these out of your ribbing. Now you can use the same exact fabric, but this pattern calls for having rib knit. So I just want to let you know the option, but it's made for a rib knit because of the design. And then last but not least, we have pattern piece number 4. Now this is the sleeve band. You want to cut 2 of these out of your fabric, and you can use rib knit for this as well for the design, because that's what the design is called for. Now once you cut all of your pattern pieces out of the correct fabric, we can begin order of construction. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to lay our back down and then our front right sides facing. And we're going to start at the shoulder seam, and there's a notch that you can do first, and then we're just going to pin. Okay, so to just head over to the machine, we're going to stitch all the way across one shoulder and then the other one using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. This is a super easy straight stitch, so do that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, so I'm back for the machine, and as you can see, I went ahead and serged that seam, and then I gave it a good press, and I pressed that seam towards the back. Now I'm going to keep it wrong sides facing for right now because I want to go ahead and close out the sides. Okay, so there should be a notch here and then a dot. Now this dot is going to be where we start or stop depending on what direction you're sewing. Okay, you want to pin the other side the same way. We're going to head to the machine. We're going to start at the dot, go all the way down to the hem, using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're back from the machine, as you can see, and then on the inside, this is what it looks like, just like this. Okay, so next we're gonna go ahead and work on our sleeve bands. I wanna go ahead and knock those off first, and then we can save the neckband for later. So put this to the side right now and grab one of your bands. Okay, so right sides facing, you want to place them just like this at this weird end, and you can pin if you need to. I'm just going to put a pin right here in the center so it won't slide. And then we're just going to head to the machine, and we're going to start here using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then we're going to go until we get to our marking, and then we're going to pivot around and do 5/8 of an inch all the way up to this side. So let's head to the machine and knock this out. Okay, back scissors at the beginning and the end. Pivot. Okay, so we're back from the machine, and we're just going to clip right until we get to that corner here at the bottom, but not go through your stitching. Okay, so now you want to take this, head to your pressing table, and press this seam open, flat just like this, and then do the other side the same way. Okay, so press that, come back, and we'll continue. Okay, once you press it flat, it'll look like this, and you just want to face them just like this, and then continue to fold all the way around just like this. And then now head back to your pressing table and give this a really good press all the way around, and then we'll attach it to the shirt. Okay, so moving right along, you want to go ahead and take your shirt and turn it wrong side out, just like this. It's just a better way to attach the armband. And then what we're gonna do is, to know that you have it on the right side, there should be a notch here in the front to match up with the front of the shirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and just match that up. Raw edges here, and then the band's gonna go on the inside, because once we turn it out, you'll see it the right side on the outside. So let's go ahead and just pin like this. And then there should be a marking here for you to match up. Matching up right where we stop that seam at, right in that corner. And the notch up here to the top goes right where that shoulder seam is. So you want to make sure you do that. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's pinned. So let's go ahead and head to the machine, and we're going to stitch right where that marking is and go all the way around until we get back right to the marking using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so I'm going to stitch it with the rib knit side up so I can actually see that seam and everything. So you want to go ahead and back stitch at the beginning, also the end. Now that we did one band, you want to do the other band the same exact way. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, we have it stitched up. And then the way I cleaned up my inside, I went ahead and just snipped right here where that marking is. And then from that marking down, I serged. And then I just serged all the way around the inside of that neckband on that seam. And then I pressed my seams towards the back on the side seams. And then I just pressed towards the shirt with the rib knit. So now, once you do one, you want to do the other side the same exact way. And then once you just turn it right side out, and after you have given it a really good press, looks really nice. And then now we're going to work on our neckband. So depending on how much recovery or how stretchy your rib knit is or your fabric is, you might have to take up a little bit more on the seam allowance on your neckband because you want it to lay flat. When it's too loose, it's gonna kind of stand up off your body. You don't want it like this. You want it to be pulled and like flat all the way around your neck. Okay, so for right now, you have 2 notches towards the back. You want to stitch across there using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then once you do that, come back and we'll continue. Okay, so we're back from the machine and also the pressing table. I took in just a little bit more because mine's pretty stretchy, so I had to take in a little bit more. So once I trimmed that down, I went ahead and pressed it open, and then you want to fold it in half, wrong sides touching each other. And then that back seam goes towards the back. And I put a little notch for the center of the back so I can line that back up perfectly, just like this. Now, because I took in a little bit more, all my notches might not match up perfectly, so I might have to do a little bit of adjustments and moving once I pin. So that should be notches for the shoulder seams and also the 2 for the front. I'm gonna start with the 2 in the front for right now. Okay, so now I don't see it like snapping on, it's kind of loose. So now I'm just going to take this right back off. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take in just a little bit more from that back seam right here, okay? Now you want to be able to like stretch and pull to pin it on, and as you saw, mine was kind of loose. So I'm gonna just take in just a little bit more and then come back and we'll continue. Okay, so let's try this again with the neckband. Okay, so now, as you can see, I have to stretch a little bit more for it to fit. That's exactly what you want. And because I took in a lot, it won't match up with the shoulder seam, so I'm just gonna pick right there where it's somewhere in the middle and give it a good pin. Okay, so let's take this to the machine. We're gonna stitch all the way around using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so we're back from the machine. As you can see, we have the neckband laying flat. It's not standing up. And I serge the inside. And then last thing to do is just give this a really good hem. I would finish off that raw edge, basically serging, peak and sheared, or a narrow zigzag stitch. And then fold it under 3/4 of an inch, which is this hem allowance. I'm going to leave mine raw because I like the way it looks with this particular fabric, but you can do as you please. And once you do all of that, you're all done.